Good afternoon and welcome. My name is Andrew Jorgensen, and I am the General Director of Opera Theater of St. Louis. And it is my pleasure to welcome all of you to our second ever virtual John D. and Sally S. Levy Masterclass. Sally and the Levy family created the Masterclass Fund in 1987 in memory of John D. Levy, a beloved founding member of the Opera Theater of St. Louis family. Thanks to their wonderful generosity, the Masterclasses provide new opportunities and insights to our extraordinary young artists every year. We are so grateful to the Levy family for their support and their encouragement to continue the Masterclasses virtually during this digital season. We tried our first one last week, and it was amazing. Amazing to see that while we are separated by distance, that the magic of technology and the power of art ties us together, brings us together, and that we are able to continue to fulfill our mission of engaging and educating the next generation of great artists. That's thanks to the brilliance of my colleagues on the Opera Theater staff who have been busy adapting all of our programs for the digital stage. But that's also thanks to our master teacher who joins us again today. This teacher is one of the great sopranos of the operatic stage, having sung on all of the world's major stages, and one of the great favorite artists I've had the pleasure to see in the theater many times. She recently added the title of director to her portfolio, directing brilliant productions on operatic stages. And just this year also has become the artistic director of Opera Theater of St. Louis's Young Artist programs. She has so much to impart to our young singers, and despite the troubles of the current moment and the difficulties, she is nonetheless unstoppable and continuing to deliver to our young singers every bit of her energy, her passion, her wisdom, and her enthusiasm. We are so fortunate to have her as part of the Opera Theater family and to have her leading our second masterclass today. It is my honor and my privilege to introduce our teacher, our colleague, and our friend, the great Patricia Racette. Pat, over to you.
Thank you, Andrew, for those generous comments, and welcome back to those who are returning to the Masterclass series, and welcome for those who are newly tuning in. While yes, as Andrew says, it certainly presents some level of challenge to be at a distance because this is a very kinetic, visceral art form we're still trying to muddle our way through, and I think have had some really interesting work. I have to say, the kind of work, what you're going to see today is the kind of work we've been doing this past month in coachings and dealing with really the singer finding their artistic voice within, and also just dealing with style and language and all of it all at once. So I don't want to take any time. I do want to say special thanks to Madeline Sledadal, who tirelessly and fantastically recorded so many accompaniments for the arias that were presented. So thank you, Madeline, for your expertise and your efforts. Madeline was to be a GYA accompanist this season as well, so we kept her busy. Anyway, Susanne Burgess is our first young artist to perform. Susanne, over to you.
Hi, Patricia. Thank you so much. My name is Susanne Burgess, and I would like to sing Embroidery Aria from Peter Grimes.
Lovely, lovely,
Thank
Susanne,
you.
really. Susanne and I have had an opportunity to work now a couple times this past week, haven't we? And one of the things we've been addressing is sort of the true vowel sound, and not and also you discovered in our session yesterday, hey, wait a minute, I'm over singing, and so which is really an important discovery, I think. So. You know what I'm about to say, don't you? You sort of went it's embroidery, right? Right? So
Yes.
and the thing is, you were going in and out of the true vowels with all its contingencies. You know, we talked about be on alert to not sing your sound.
Sure.
Your function is to support. Your function is to say the text clearly, and then get out of the way.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and don't you know. Okay, so let's start it again. I don't care if we have the accompaniment. It's not that clear from. So if you're,
Sure.
I think we're all going to be comfortable singing a cappella.
Forever. Yeah.
So,
Okay.
let's just start it again. Beth is giving the pitch here. Can you hear it?
Yes.
The color of the vowel is better. Right? It's already better. And you said yesterday, number of times, how, oh my God, that feels so easy. You know? And so that was already an adjustment that you made. So, embroidery. Yeah, let's try it again. Keep going.
Okay.
Right there. In okay. In childhood, it's just what you're doing is robbing. When you do that, you're digging in and you're robbing the full contingency of brightness and darkness in any inherent vowel.
Sure.
Yeah. And now I have to stay on you because when you do it, it's just great. So
right. No, I could.
Okay. Let's start it again and we'll continue. So just keep saying it. It's not to put overly an effort into that. It's simplifying.
Right.
I'm going to support it. I'm going to allow this to be my engine. I'm going to allow these are the passengers, and say it clearly, but you don't have a danger of capturing it here, which is good. You know what I mean? But it tends to slip down your throat a little.
Right.
Yeah, perfect. Okay, let's do it again. The child was still a little
Okay.
Childhood. Look at that. You're going child. What is it? Childhood was a love. It's all like that. Don't over pedal. No, not too much gas.
Okay.
Was a just do in childhood again.
In childhood
Was a luxury.
Was a luxury of idleness.
Yes. Now you nod your head and tell me what that's about for you. Tell me what that's about for you. Do you actually have you notice the feeling is different? Articulate what that is for us.
It feels like I have more control over it in not controlling it, if that makes any sense.
You're in the the door prize. That's exactly it. I've said this several times, but by concentrating on the action, you have the reaction. But if you actually try and do the reaction, if you actually try and sing the sound, you're not actually doing the thing that's going to create the color. Do you know what I mean?
Yes,
yeah.
yes.
And it's so exactly. Just on a musical note, you have to be really, really come scritto with this.
Yeah, it's very.
So you're taking some luxuries that would not be allowed, and be careful with the slip sliding. Okay, just on a luxury of not idleness. Nope, idleness. The beauty, the magical aspect of this piece is in its absolute accuracy, and because it's so geniusly written.
Yeah, it's very tense.
Let's carry on. Is that okay for you? A coil of silk, and just luxuriate in that vowel. A coil of silk and thread. Just like luxuriate it, just constantly repeat the vowel in your mind. Do you know what I mean? Yes. Now, the opposite of that would be singing the sound. A coil of silk and thread. And it's just, it doesn't speak as much. It doesn't speak here, and it doesn't speak on a vocal and musical level. So, a coil of. A coil of silk and thread. Good. We're good on the vowel patrol. I encourage you to keep at it. Giving dreams of a sail. Let that be the echo in a musical way. Dreams of a sail. Let it be the echo comes to mind, the echo of that sound. Instead of driving each note of us, it's like silk, damn it. You know, I don't know. Okay.
Yeah.
Silk, make it silky.
Right.
I mean, it's very descriptive musically. So if you can caress that a bit, I'm giving dreams. Sure. Dreams. Did you hear that ah?
Yes.
Yes. That's not the ah of child. It's alive. You just, I want you to marry that ah. Okay. Okay. All right. Good. Do you see the way you treated that musically? It had more suppleness to it, which is appropriate for the circumstance, for the musical style, and for the text you're saying.
It feels less dirge-like.
Say again?
It feels less dirge-like and more.
Yeah. It has a silky sort of, this sort of more fluttering quality, the fragility of silk. Any of us who've worn silk know about that, but the fragility of that. It's so, as you know, it's just such a masterpiece. This anyway. So let's carry on. Is that too mean to just start it now?
That's okay.
Okay. So now let's look at the information. It's mine's cut off, but it's a diminuendo, right? Na. So give yourself enough juice. Don't oversing, but na, my bride. And let's maybe it might be easier to say, let's attach it to an interpretive reason. There's an ache. Na, horrified. An ache. Na, my bride. It's that. Okay, so add your version of "oh no" into it.
Yes. Whose meaning we avoid.
Beautiful. That was beautiful. That was
Thank you.
beautiful. Didn't it feel fun?
Yes.
I've said to you and to your GYA colleagues over these past few weeks, this is the fun part. You've done all the hard work. You've learned it. You've learned the language where applicable. You've studied it vocally, musically, in every way. You've done all the woodshedding, the stuff that has to happen. The fun stuff is putting it together and attaching your interpretive, unique life experience and voice to it. And sometimes I think we forget as young artists starting out that this has to be reintegrated, because that's really what it is to be.
Right, it's game time, right?
It's game time. Fly, baby. You've done all the practice. You're really going to get. So excellent. Thank you for doing that. I want to look at this line. Meaning we avoid. Can I have an F sharp, please? Meaning. Here's what I'm hearing a little bit of. We avoid.
It's like it's the lowest note I've ever sung, and it's not. But as I come into it, I'm like, oh no!
You're working harder than you need to.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna go there. But if you dig down, it's just like, ah! Okay. Meaning we avoid. It goes there. Nothing goes above here. Nothing goes below here. Meaning we avoid. Digging, avoid. And you sort of, there's a drag put on it. There's a resistance. The other one just goes and drops in. So just meaning we avoid.
Meaning we avoid. It's so much easier. Like I could just say avoid.
But meaning we off. So don't go down with it at all. Meaning we avoid. Look what's happening. Avoid. Right?
Yeah. Avoid.
Yes.
Avoid. Okay. Meaning we avoid.
It cut out a little. Can you sing? Just sing avoid. Can you just sing that?
Avoid.
You're going 50 and a 25.
Okay.
Avoid. It's residual from the Think of it that way. Avoid. Don't give it any extra juice. Just right there. Avoid. That's better. You see that? Absolutely. It's just, if you go down there with it, it doesn't stay free. Meaning it locks up your larynx. Meaning we avoid. Right. Avoid. Much better. And we did that a little bit yesterday. We just just defunkify it. Take it out of the sort of seductive qualities that the music can have to make us do the wrong thing, and just flush it out. Avoid. Great. Let's continue. Before you start this next section, it says parlando, right?
Yeah.
I mean, but it's got the little markings there. My hand remembered. Now, okay, yes, you have to realize that musically because it's magnificent. It's sort of, there's an emphasis. Attach it to something interpretive. Are you holding back tears? Are you attach it to something and make that musical indication part of your interpretive gesture.
Okay. My hand remembers old skill, this riches tell a curious tale.
Much better. I think my hand remembered its old skill, The stitches tell a curious tale. I think more parlando. You got a little. The stitches tell a curious tale, which you know is tempting. But I thought you handled that really well. One more time.
Sure.
Are we on time? Okay.
My hand remembered its old skill. The stitches tell a curious tale. I remember I was brooding on
wait. That I hated stopping you because that was just beautiful. So the reason it's important that the parlando is different because this next thing is full bow. It's cantabile, right?
Right.
So I think my hand remembered. Is that? I'm sorry. My hand remembered. It's old school. You can be less. You can sing less.
Okay.
Think of speaking more. My hand remembered it's old. And you do that. I don't want it to artificially just say, okay, let's shorten those notes. Do it with the text. My hand remembered its old skill. The stitches tell a curious tale. And then I remember I was, you just like really serve it up. So can we do that again? How are we on time? We're going to text.
My hand remembered its old skill. The stitches tell a curious tale. I remember I was brooding on the fantasies of children, and dreamt not only by wishing I could bring some
Beautiful. I loved all that stuff and you sort of nodded after the parlando thing.
Yes.
Tell me.
Well, it felt very honest, and then it felt like a huge difference then to begin singing, whereas before it was kind of not quite as a shift.
No, exactly. It felt honest. I heard the text. I felt like the text had the meaning and the musical gesture was sewn in with your interpretive idea, and it just had a simplicity that speaks, I think, far louder. And I loved your cantabile and everything. I just want to look into their lives. I mean, we're back in the law. Okay. Now I don't want you to strain it. Yeah, lives. So into their lives. Let me propose this. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, into their lives.
Oh, when the saints. No.
Go marching.
Sorry. Okay.
Much better.
My house rang.
Your house, that's always a good sign. Excellent. In the interest of time, let's carry on.
Okay.
This has to be musically really exact.
Okay.
No bending.
Okay.
Okay. Sure.
Yeah, sorry.
3 P's. Ow. Avoid. Avoid.
Avoid.
Avoid. It almost takes no air.
Mhm.
Avoid.
Avoid.
Yes. Much better.
Try.
So something you can do is just sort of avoid. If you feel your larynx get pushed down by your tongue, that's yeah. So it's already, even since yesterday, you've made such progress on all this stuff. I implore you to keep these vowels true. It is your friend. It is your friend. Beautiful, really beautiful. Thank you, Susanne. I think I'm done. Thank you. Thank you. All right. I believe our next contestant is Ryan Johnson. Yes? Sorry, I left the frame. Yes, Ryan Johnson.
Hello. Hi. Yeah, I'm Ryan Johnson. And today, me and Madeline will be performing Che gelida manina from La Boheme. Che gelida manina, se la lasci riscaldar, cercar che giova, al buio non si trova. Ma per fortuna in una notte di luna, e qui la luna l'abbiamo vicina. Aspetti, signorina, le dirò con due parole chi son. Chi sono e che faccio, come vivo. Vuole. Chi son? Chi sono? Sono un poeta, che cosa faccio? Scrivo, e come vivo, vivo. In povertà mia lieta, sciano da gran signore, rimerini d'amore, per sogni, per chimere, per castelli in aria, l'anima umiliana. Tutti gioielli, due ladri gli occhi belli. Vendrare con voi purona, per i bei sogni usati, ed i bei sogni miei, tosto si dileguar, ma il furto non m'accora. poiché va preso stanza la speranza. Or che mi conoscete, parlate voi, de parlate chi siete. Vi piaccia dir.
Bravo! Great, Ryan. Great.
Thank
Hey,
you.
I'm going to ask you,
Yeah.
when we work on this, back away from your mic a little. We
Okay.
got it saturated quite a bit. Yeah, with your
Yeah.
marvelous ring and in resonance in your voice. Okay, so beautiful, beautiful. Thank you. I loved your treatment of the language. I loved your legato. So it's really what I'm wondering though is it was all a bit full throttle. And my goodness, you have it in spades. So I feel like when you serve it up, it needs to be a special occasion.
Mm.
And also he had some ideas about when to do that too. So let's look let's look at this. I mean, because it begins dolcissimo, doesn't it? And pianissimo. I don't want you to lose that sort of vitality and that energy you have behind it. Do you know what I mean? I don't want it to be, che gelida, but it doesn't. Che gelida. My God, your hand's cold, as opposed to. So let's create a little more suppleness in that.
Okay. Yeah.
Because this is obviously we all know this. It's a circumstance, but both of you are sitting there, just falling into one another's eyes, and your hearts are probably going tick, 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 the whole time. And so that can be the energy force behind it, but it just keep a little back, because you don't want to overwhelm poor me now, do you?
Love me.
Exactly. All right, let's begin again. So I don't care if we use the accompaniment, because I couldn't really hear it that well either. Anyway.
Okay.
Are you, it's for your comfort, right?
Yeah, I'll use the accompaniment. It's not a big deal.
Okay.
Che gelida manina, se la lasci riscaldar, cercar che giova, al buio non si trova.
Beautiful. Can we look at that again?
Yes.
Beautiful.
Oops, sorry.
And I have to admit that it's hard to tell in terms of, is it just is it cyber, picking up a volume that is different than what I'm hearing. But what I would love to ask you to incorporate is a different kind of color.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? For the beginning, just like a different color. Che gelida manina, se la lasci riscalda, se la lasci se la lasci, something tender and gentle, because you have time for that ring and that sound later in the piece. I just think it would be so beautiful. I mean, it's ultimately artistically up to you to make that choice. So I'm just throwing out an option.
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Is that yeah? I mean, you're going to be asked to. It's incumbent on any artist to not only bring something to the table, bring something of their own ideas to the table, but it's incumbent upon them to incorporate the ideas of others, your director, your conductor.
Mm.
All that being said, making it your own. So let me just throw that, that command your way. Please make it more supple, more personal, more intimate,
Okay.
and less presentational. Something, and it'll. Let's see if just speaking on and that as an interpretive idea has an effect on the color. Don't get me wrong, the color of your voice is magnificent. It's beautiful. I just want some differentiation.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. I want. You need to speak before you sing. And what I literally mean is I need to feel like you're saying something to me through the singing. If I hear the singing is the primary thing and the speaking of it is secondary. If we can get a meaning here and there, that's fine.
Yeah.
I think it's the other way around.
Yeah.
It's we're obligated. We have words,
Yeah.
Okay. All right, let's try it again, okay? If you want to hit your I know.
Che gelida manina, se la lasci riscaldar, cercar che giova, al buio non si trova. Ma per fortuna in una notte di luna e qui la luna l'abbiamo vicina. Aspetti, signorina, le dirò con due parole chi son. Chissà che faccia come vivo vuole.
Yes, I do, but in 1 minute. So I'm looking for just some. I mean, it's so clearly in your wheelhouse to do this. I want to take it up another level in terms of giving the texture to the phrases. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like when you're le dirò con due parole chi son. I need it to attach to something. I don't want to feel like I'm just hearing this sung well. I need to hear it. Am I articulating myself?
No, I understand.
So take more risks. Take a chance on a different color, on a different. Different color. What do I mean by that? I don't want to. Your vowels and your diction is so clean and pure, but it doesn't. It's not for my taste. It's not housing enough of the meaning of what it. I know you know what it means, but I don't know what it means to you. When I listen to it, whether I watch you or close my eyes, I don't know what it means to you. I don't know what this moment means to you and what these words mean to you.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, attach it to some personal experience of your own. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we don't express one another one note. Do you know what I mean? One color, one note. I want you to play with it a little more, even if it ends up being well, that wasn't a good idea. Let's just play with it. We're in a safe space. Is that okay? So aspetti, signorina.
Okay.
I mean, I have it marked at counter 110 for whatever that's worth.
Aspetti, signorina, le dirò con due parole chi son e che faccia come vivo vuole.
So I'm going to be a pain in the butt and stop you again. Very much improved. Very much improved. I saw you sort of trust it for a minute, but then what I don't want to hear, Ryan, is, oh, wow, that's a magnificent A flat. I want the A flat to mean something.
Yeah.
This is what it is to be an artist.
Yeah.
The other one's a sound machine.
Yeah.
So maybe the first one, Kison. Do you know what I mean? Have a difference between them. We don't, I'm not going to belabor that. Let's keep going. But do you know what I mean when I'm saying that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Have a thought and
have a thought and trust the color it will take. Do not think, okay, I've got to make this sound. I'm going to commit all this singing on you right now. And if I can get to having it mean certain things, good. But you know what I mean? I'm exaggerating to illustrate a point. Your task, I mean, your voice works so very well. You don't have to be preoccupied with that. You know what to do. You know how to support. You're saying the words purely, cleanly. I'm just missing that unique element of, this is your Kejeli Damanina.
Yeah.
Just a Kejeli Damanina. Okay?
Yeah.
And that's what we all want. That's what we all crave. That individuality, that uniqueness.
Yeah.
Okay? Yeah. Let's keep going. Kison. Now, I mean, there's also a lot of musical markings that help us with what the sort of timbre that we should take, or the meaning the composer gives us, that Kison forte, Kison, sono un poeta, as opposed to Kison, sono un poeta. You know, I'm a poet. You know, it wouldn't be that. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
So I have it at 143.
This is going to start at the vuole.
All righty.
Chi son? Chi son? Sono un poeta. Che cosa faccio? Scrivo, e come vivo. In povertà mia lieta, scialo da gran signore, rimerini d'amore, per sogni, per chimere, e per castelli in aria. L'anima umiliana.
Great. How does that have a feeling? Does it feel any different to you? How does it feel to be implementing these ideas I'm telling you about?
It's a little strange. I feel more involved, but I feel like it's a little bit of an abandon, a little bit of a.
And I think we can use even more abandon. You don't have to work. You've done the work.
Yeah.
Give yourself the permission to just fly, to let it, to just give yourself, it's working. I don't even see you sitting there going, oh, okay, here we go. Big red flag moment. You're just, so there's no excuse to not completely submerge this in your interpretation.
Yeah.
Submerge it. Chi son, sono un poeta, che cosa faccio, scrivo e vivo. In povertà, lovely mia lieta, sciallo da gran signore. You know what I want you to do? If I were there in the room with you, if we were doing this in earnest, I would be me for you, and I'd want you to tell me this. Make it very personal. I want you to tell me. And I've always found in working these situations where it's a one-sided duet, you know, because Mimi is part of that scene. It helps to direct what you're saying to someone. So if you're courageous and up for it, do that right into the camera to me. Say what you're saying as if you're really, you know. But we can carry on. How about in povertà mia lieta? 207. Right. 207, I think. So, oh yeah, go ahead.
In povertà mia lieta, scialo da gran signore, rimedini d'amore, per sogni, per chimere, e per castelli in aria. L'anima umilionaria tarar dal mio forziere ruban tutti i gioielli, due ladri di occhi belli. Entrare con voi corona e i miei sogni usati, e i miei sogni miei tosto si dileguar, ma il furto non m'accola. Poiché ha preso stanza la speranza, perché mi conoscete, parlate voi, parlate chi siete. Viviaccia
Beautiful. Ryan, really beautiful. I don't know, maybe, and it's also, these challenges, this forum of having to do this into a computer screen, but it took on a whole different life. I mean, I just got chills, consistently, because I don't know if you're recording this or whatever, but your face became animated. Your everything. I didn't feel like you were just gonna sing at me. You were saying something. I mean, you were saying something to me, and it was absolutely sewn into your vocalism, but I wasn't aware you were singing. I felt like you were speaking.
Yeah.
I mean,
it felt good. I felt involved, and yeah,
it felt freeing. And so I saw it, I heard it. It was wonderful. I mean, kind of an old me, but whatever Rodolfo's taste is.
No.
So I want to just look at the ever famous high C. I feel like you're shortchanging the full opulence of your sound on that. It's great. Look, I'll take that. That's great. But I'm wondering if there's a little more under and overtones to be. I'm just wondering if you're being a little militant. I can't believe I'm saying this about the vowel. I feel like you might be. Oh, see, I'm not a tenor today. Oh. I feel like there's this that needs to be released. It's not even opening anything. It's not placing anything. It's a release into it. How do you feel about that?
I feel the same way. I feel there needs to be a little more. Yeah.
So I feel like you're saying the vowel. You notice that it's in your computer to say the vowel, but do you say it? But don't lock it anywhere in here.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. What's poike? Yeah, can we, do you want to do it with the, or without?
No, it's
Without,
fine.
okay.
Poiché.
Yeah.
Okay. Poiché va preso stanza la speranza.
Yeah. Last do you hear the difference?
Yeah. Yeah.
Just letting it lean into your entire mechanism. I feel like yeah, and don't let your palate stiffen.
Okay.
Let it stay. Just, I know it's a high C, and can you stand to do it one more time?
Yes. Poiché va preso stanza la speranza.
How did that feel to you?
Felt a little strange. It feels like, yeah, the air can flow a little better, but yeah.
Well, what I heard is la what I didn't hear, which I appreciated, la I'm exaggerating.
Yeah.
And not shortchanging the full spectrum of that vowel.
Yeah.
But did it feel freeing or restricting or?
I think for me, I opened just a tad too much here, and I could have allowed it to a little more freedom here. So, but yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, your mic got a little saturated, understandably so. But from what I could tell, what I heard is there was more around it, and it was no less a true E. In fact, the other one is less of a true eh, because
Yeah.
it's which my larynx is up, my tongue is tight, my palate is stiff. It has that, but it also goes like that C curve.
Yeah.
And I think the voice always appreciates having that sort of undulation.
Yeah.
Okay, we won't belabor that, but I really like that. I want to just finish it. How are we on time? Good. Sorry. We're back to our piano dolcissimo.
Yeah.
So color it. Here, I'm back.
Here, I'll start the measure before.
Very good.
Che mi conoscete, parlate voi.
Please.
Ne parlate chi siete.
Beautiful. That's a real key for you.
Yeah.
That's a real key for you to direct it. When you are, in fact, the scene is singing it to someone, to direct it. Make sure you have a direction, because otherwise it feels a bit lonely. I call it this sort of exit portal for your interpretation. And you find that in we feed off of the energy on stage, off of one another, but you're still obligated to communicate that in a concert setting, in an audition, whatever it is. And I think there's a lot of payback for that. Truly.
Yeah.
That's really wonderful. It's just so it's so in your voice. I really encourage you to draw out the suppleness of those phrases as much as possible, because then it makes those heroic moments all the more thrilling. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's
Yeah.
the economy with which we employ our voice, our volume, our interpretation, our movement, our eyes, our focus. It's that sort of differentiation that makes it truly unique and yours.
Yeah. Yeah.
So just terrific. Is there we have a couple minutes here. Is there a spot you want to look at again, or have you had enough?
Well, I'm fine. I'm fine with that. I mean, it's so helpful. It really is helpful to have someone right there in front of you to engage in. Otherwise I have a big trouble of a little too much going inward, and I want like you said, I love that exit portal for creativity. There has to be a going forth,
And it has to be yours. It's yours, and it's unique, and it's special. And I always say this when I'm working with my younger colleagues is that when you walk on that stage, whether it is in a fully staged production, whether it is an audition, whether it is a concert, you come out there and you invite us into your universe.
Yeah.
You take a command of that, invite it into your, so you create that focus and send that, and we will all just melt into that, as opposed to like, well, there's no one here, this is awkward. Does that make sense?
Yes.
There's a true command that one feels. We get to be in your universe, not the other way around.
Yeah. Is there a way that you created that kind of atmosphere for yourself in a recital or an audition or something like that?
Well, it certainly has been quite a few years since I've auditioned, but I don't know, in all fairness and honestly, I don't know that I mastered that necessarily. What I always made sure I was doing, or what I needed to do, what was my safe zone and my comfort and saving me from any nerves, is I felt like I need to tell you something. I always felt that I need to say something. I need to tell you something. I have something to say. And just, I would absolutely find every opportunity to immerse myself in the meaning of the piece, because otherwise, I always have said, I want to be totally distracted by the fact that I'm singing. I don't, because otherwise I'll get too nervous. If I'm in the saying of it, then I wouldn't be. So that's something that has been, in some ways, a very useful crutch for me, because, to just immerse in that, and just, I love it when it's over. You're so busy with the saying of it that you don't get, you don't get distracted by the many things that can distract you. You just, it attaches to your very core. Does that make sense?
Yes, absolutely.
All right. Well, listen, terrific. It's been a real pleasure.
Oh, same here. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I believe we're taking a brief intermission now, and my colleague Damon Bristow will be doing an interview. So we'll see you in about 15, I think.
Hi, everybody. I'm Damon Bristow, Director of Artistic Administration at Opera Theater, and it's just so incredible to see this work that Patricia Racette and these young artists can accomplish from thousands of miles away, and for all of us to see. It's such a treat, and I hope that we can see much more after this intermission. It is my pleasure to be the intermission feature with a very special guest, so that we can learn a little more about what being a Gerdine Young Artist is really like. So please welcome former GYA and current K-France Young Artist at the Washington National Opera, Rihanna Thelwell. There you are. How are you?
Hi. I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm great. Where are you joining us from? Are you in DC currently?
So DC adjacent. I'm in Silver Spring, so I'm in the Maryland area. So I'm still pretty close to, everything.
Well, thank you for being here. This season is unlike any other since we're all not together. And tomorrow I'm going to be doing a tent talk with 3 of our current young artists about what it's like to be in a digital festival, etc. But since you were here actually in person and were a part of the program, I wanted to speak with someone that has firsthand experience. And so you were last year in 2019 for a very successful Giovanna and Rigoletto and in Fire. So
what are some of the experiences that were offered to you as GYA that stick with you today in your training that you carry with you?
A lot of things, because I mean, you're performing with some like grade A talent, not just the CYAs in the program. You're working with fantastic directors. You're working with like grade A performers. I luckily got a chance to actually work alongside Patricia Racette for when she directed Traviata, and it was gorgeous, and it was an amazing experience because you got firsthand experience from somebody who not only performed Violetta about 1 billion times, but you also got somebody who was so intimately involved with a piece. That way, like, you already knew what needed to happen because she already had an idea. Oh my gosh, in that picture, yeah, you already had an idea of what was required of you because Pat made it so easy. I mean, it's a wonderful program to be a part of, and it's beyond educational. So it was an absolute pleasure to be there. The 2 years I got to be there.
What was your experience like with Fire? Because, you know, it's very rare that you get to create a role, that you get to be a part of a process in which you're creating something for the first time. And this was a really important piece for opera theater and for everyone. I mean, that's a great, come on, you have to tell us about that picture. Tell us all.
I mean, my character, Ruby, is supposed to be, you know, the other woman to Spinner, who is the female lead's husband, who's Billy. And yeah, I got to be my good old flirtatious self and all sultry and junk. So that was the one scene where I had to be basically sprawled on top of the table. But it was really rewarding, you know, because it was, sadly, in my like 28 years of life, it was my very first time working with not only a Black composer, but a Black librettist in an all-Black opera. And like, we were telling our story, and it was something really important. And it's just so shameful that, you know, a lot of operas right now, especially the ones with like really strong messages like Fire, like Blue, that aren't happening right now because of the pandemic. And I can't wait to get back to it, because I can't describe to you how wonderful it was. What a fantastic cast. What a beautiful piece. I would do anything to be a part of that again, because it was so rewarding to have OTSL know that, like, okay, Terrence's last commission with us was Champion. Let's see if we could up the ante a little bit, and we did, and I got to be a part of that, and it was truly the proudest moment of my life being a part of that.
It's so great to hear you say that you know, these are, as you go on in your career, these are the things you hold on to, and they become part of you, and they become part of you as an artist. And so do you consider that to be your sort of most meaningful GYA moment in the program, or were there a few?
Well, I mean, there was a ton, because I mean, like I said, it was a great program, and it didn't just stop with the CYA year. OTSL brought me back for a lot of stuff. I was there for a lot of the outreach programs. I was there for Opera on the Go, the Artists in Residence. I came back for opera tastings. They brought me back for a few of the wine and beer events. So like, they kept one of the many morning. That was our first day. What an odd picture, but yes, this is our very first day on the road with the opera tastings.
Welcome to your first day of class, you know.
It was so much fun. I mean, it's art that I never really thought I was going to be able to do, because I never expected to be a teacher in my life, and I never thought I would be able to, you know, sit in front of a room full of children and explain to them what I do, and like them being so intrigued by everything, because so many of these kids just think that the only time they're ever going to hear opera is, you know, through Bugs Bunny. Yeah. And that's not the case. Like, it's alive and well, and it's thriving. And, you know, we also went to prisons. We went to community homes. We went to a bunch of places. It was like, to know that we were doing good with the art that we've been like cultivating for years.
Yeah, well, so many young artists have the experience that outreach is difficult, or, oh, I don't want to do that. But in today's world, when social justice is necessary, and there's so many topics that we need to address with younger generations, do you find that you going in as part of this program, as part of the Artist in Residence program and the GYA program, going into these prisons and schools, that you can make this connection with a different group of people than the normal opera audience? Does it influence what you do on stage as well?
I mean, yes and no. I mean, at the end of the day, outreach is always going to be difficult, because it's difficult work. Like, you're doing either a bridge something, or you're like putting things together where you don't have a lot of time that you would putting an opera together. But at the end of the day, like, you're doing good work. You're getting in front of a group of people that probably have never heard your art form or are very ill-informed about your art form. And you explain to them, like, no, I'm sitting here chugging along, doing my absolute best. And like, yes, I'm a big Black woman doing it. And a lot of them don't realize that that's a thing. Like, they just assume that it's a certain type of mold that you have to fit. And that is certainly not the case. I am the first to tell you that is certainly not the case.
So you've been watching this masterclass, correct? I've seen you commenting.
Yeah.
So who did you do master classes with when you were here? You know, the thing is, we do have an audience usually, but not usually the world can watch. So who did you work with, and what did you learn from the masterclass experience as part of the OTSL experience?
So, fun fact, I was actually never a part of a masterclass, because the first year I got to OTSL was actually by complete chance, because somebody dropped out like last minute. I never even auditioned for the program. So I was too concerned like learning everything like within like 2 weeks of getting the music to be a part of a masterclass. And then the second year I was in practically everything. I was doing Giovanna in Rigoletto. I was doing Fire Shut Up on My Bones. I was covering Alnalta in Popea. So I didn't have the time. However, I made certain that I coached with everybody that I could there. I auditioned with Andrea. I auditioned with Mike. I auditioned with Damien. I auditioned with audition. I keep saying audition. Maybe it's because I want to get back to work. But no, but I coached with as many people as I could, because even the staff at OTSL is grade A. I love working with these people, and a lot of them come back like year after year. So it's also building up the relationship that you had the year prior. So yeah, I didn't do any master classes. However, I have been steadily making sure that like I have people helping me.
Well, have you done master classes in DC over the course of the season?
No. Actually, that's
we
not
gotta
even
get
true.
you a master class.
No. I absolutely lied, because it was virtual, so I completely forgot. It was part of the virtual master class with Renee Fleming, like maybe a month ago. But
how forgettable is that? Come on.
Well, to be fair, I was riddled with anxiety, so I was like, just get it over with. Because I mean, I was doing Sappho for Renee Fleming for the first time, so I was just like, okay. But I mean, it worked out. It was a great experience. I mean, it wasn't nearly as in depth as you'd want it to, because I mean, yes, virtual is far different than like in live master classes. However, they're still super helpful. Like listening to Ryan and Suzanne, they're like killing these high notes.
And the kind of work that can be done is amazing.
Through the internet. Who would have guessed?
What is one important thing that you've learned in your masterclass days for all of your career? Is there something you do think about that you've learned from somebody, whether observing or participating, that you hold on to when you audition or when you're in performance?
Be open to everything. Just because you assume that you know something better than others, that's not always the case, because you're working with people now that like have been in your shoes. They're not necessarily walking the same path, but like their advice could be extremely helpful. So don't be the type of person to be like, I know, I got this, never mind. Listen, try it out. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But man, will you be surprised if it does.
Oh yeah. And that's the thing. It's like to watch everybody in today's masterclass and last week's just be willing to go there. I mean, putting themselves out there on the internet and with people watching, it's almost even more vulnerable than actual performance when
it is.
Working on these minuscule things that are making the greater art. I mean, it makes me nervous a little bit, but I'm prone to that anyway. So, do you have any feelings while watching this? Or are you having any experiences while watching these masterclasses now?
Just a sense of pride, because I mean, to see these young artists like still like chugging along with all of that's what's outside, and like to know that like, we're still here. We're still making sure that, our art form is, heard. We're still making sure that we're moving forward despite like the world in a way kind of stopping. I'm trying my best to remember everything that you said, but it's been such a prideful moment to watch these singers, especially Ryan, because I knew him last year,
Yeah.
and just see how much they've grown just within a year. It's just, it's oof. It's a lot of feelings, just a lot of feelings.
Well, I'm sure you have a lot of feelings about also getting back to performance. And what are you looking forward to in your next season? Fingers crossed that things happen, but do you have anything on the docket coming up that you're really excited about?
I do. I actually have a couple of things lined up with Opera Philadelphia. We're doing a Oedipus Rex, and then
When is that?
Yeah, that's in January. So learning that,
Awesome.
and then I'm going back to Opera Philadelphia in November for their new work, The Listeners, which is a Missy Mazzoli, Royce Varick commission.
Oh, that's exciting! And you'll be a second year young artist at the K-Fritz Young Artists. What are you working on then at Washington National?
So before any of this happened, it was going to be Rigoletto again. I was going to do Giovanna again, and possibly third secretary in Nixon in China. However, with all that's going on, they're looking to rearrange some of the schedule that they had, and it looks like the opera that we couldn't get to, Blue, which is the which is the opera based on police brutality. It looks like that might be coming back. We're still unsure of what's happening, but I mean, fingers crossed that like at least that can come back, and like we could even put on a season. So I'm just being very hopeful at this point.
Yeah, I think we all are at this point. You know, we're all very hungry to get back to performance, and you know, recognizing that the world is not the same as it once was, which is a good thing in many ways, but we still have that need to be in the same space with one another and to share those memories. So I'm so glad to see that you're doing well and that you're still working and keeping yourself busy and preparing for amazing things. I mean, to learn Oedipus Rex is enough work. Yeah. So, you might just keep glued to that score, sleep on that score, and see what happens. Well, I thank you so much for sharing your time and your laughter and your smile, because we all need that in our lives more. So thank you for being here, and thank you for watching.
Thanks for having me. Of course.
Anytime. So I'll see you soon, hopefully in real life.
Yay, bye!
Thank you all for joining us for this intermission feature. I hope you got your Diet Cokes or whatever you're drinking, or your martini or your popcorn. And I hope you're looking forward to 2 more exceptional singers with the incredible Patricia Racette to do the most fascinating work. So I hope that she's ready, and I hope that she's willing, and I hope that she would like to do more work. So let's see. I hear you. Thank you.
David, you're so good at those interviews, truly. Maybe we should have a talk show host for you. We'll discuss it later. Anyway, welcome back, everyone. Our next GYA is Olivia Cosio, and she will introduce herself and her selection.
Hi, everyone. My name is Olivia Cosio, and I'd like to sing Svegliatevi nel core from Handel's Giulio Cesare.
Is it us?
Can you vamp a little bit? Looks like we lost Olivia. It sounds like I can hear you.
Okay, I think we have had technical difficulties. I am assuming you all can see and hear me at the moment. It's hard to know where the technical difficulties lie at the moment. That was just some delicious singing, so hopefully we'll get back to Olivia soon. I've been talking with my colleagues. It's something very exhilarating, even doing these master classes virtually. Are you back?
I don't know what happened. I was singing and then it just showed a picture of a building. I don't know how far I got, but I'm here now.
You were in, like, I would suggest we start in the slow section.
Yep.
B.
Sure. Well,
So I have it at like 111.
Oh yeah.
If that helps.
Oh,
and also, can you turn your accompaniment down a little bit? It's distorted. It's quite loud. Just a little bit.
Should I do it without? Or I guess.
No, just turn it down a tiny bit. Anyway.
Sorry, I don't know what happened.
Well,
now I gotta find the
counter. 111.
Okay. Thanks. Okay.
Olivia, thank you. Really great. Great stuff. So I he is absolutely erupting with rage, isn't he?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I in working with you already a couple times and seeing your front and center, I know you have more, you've further to go with that. So
Sure.
just, like we were working with Ryan, I don't know if you saw, just really take advantage of the camera, whatever, being a focus thing, and you can also you can take it elsewhere too, just to physicalize and show us that rage. It was a bit tidy for what I think this is, but it was so wonderfully sung. We can let's begin again, and I'll stop. The one general comment I would say in the B section, I feel like you're saying, vendetta, right? You're like this. I felt like you were seduced by the musical idea in the B section. So it's sort of like,
Yeah. A little too fun.
Yeah. No, I think it has to be like, and just remember, you're quoting your father. Those are his words at a certain point, right?
Yeah.
You're so we'll get to that. Now, do you want to do this with accompaniment or without? It's your call.
I think without honestly might be easier, because I think that I was kind of like struggling to hear it, so I was a little more tentative.
Oh, really? So yeah, I'm happy to do this. So let's just begin. I almost think, and maybe you are comfortable with the tempo. Would taking just like one click off the tempo be something you want? Just a little.
Yeah, I actually think that would be good. Yeah.
Just a tiny bit. I mean, I love the vitality and the energy that you have in it, and I don't want to lose that by and we're talking a very, very like one metronome marking, but I don't want you popping off short notes.
Yeah.
And things like that, because even though it's there's all this movement, but it has to come from that legato line, right? And how do we express this? How do we, other than, especially without staging, without props, with all these things, how do we say the text has to stay alive? That being said, we don't want to get all here, right? You have to still keep it supple, but it's alive, it's buoyant, it's crisp, it's clear, and it's driven by your support.
Was that you? Oh, you played that.
No, that's actually, this is a perfect opportunity. I want to thank my amazing, talented, generous, fabulous wife, Beth Clayton, who is sitting here at the piano, throwing us chords and pitches and being so ever supportive and helpful as ever. So,
wow, thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, back to the business at hand.
From the A? The A section?
Just the beginning. I want you to do the beginning.
Oh, got it. Okay.
Sorry.
Svegliatevi nel cuore, furia dell'offesa, affar d'un traditor, aspra vendetta, svegliatevi.
Okay. Can you try just one hair slower? Svegliatevi nel cuore. But I mean, I want you to, I still want you to keep that vitality you have in it, but just one bit. I feel like your voice deserves to the sound a little more.
Yeah.
With that slightly. So let's try that. So right there, beautiful. How does that feel? Does that feel okay?
Yeah, it feels like I'm actually able to express more because I have more time to say the words fully rather than
in the fastest of tempos, in the most active vocal lines. You don't want to ever feel like you're chasing after it. You want to feel like you're on top of it and riding it. And it's always important to find that tempo that's just right for you on that particular day. Svegliatevi nel cuore, furia. I sort of heard furia d'un'alma. You have to accommodate all of them. Yeah. So let's take the that one.
Svegliatevi nel cuore, furia
There- Fuori d'una- fu- fuori d'un- fuori d'un-
It was Furie d'un'alma offesa.
Yes, and it forces you to keep the legato, the voice ringing through the whole thing. Otherwise, it closes down. Fuori d'un'alma, you know what I'm saying?
Right, yeah.
It's one F. No, it's two Fs. Offesa. It's there's a later E vowel that was too closed, but we'll get it. We'll get it.
Yeah.
It sounded like, I think it was defasa, but it sounded like it sounded
I said it, and I was like, that's wrong, but I'm here, I'm gonna commit, sorry. From...
Thank you.
Svegliatevi nel cuore, fuori d'un'alma offesa, a fardo traditor, aspra vendetta, svegliatevi.
Svegliatevi. You don't pop off of it.
Okay. Svegliatevi.
Yes.
Svegliatevi nel cuore, fuori d'un'alma offesa, svegliatevi nel cuore, fuori d'un'alma offesa, a far d'un traditor.
Okay, great. You know what it forces you to do by not popping it off? It allows everything to stay sort of rapidly, but alive, but very, very supple. And
Yeah.
you know, because we talked about sometimes you feel like your tongue can get a little tight, which it just did on that F, and
A far d'un traditor.
You've decided the vowel, you know where the sound is, now get out of the way.
Just go for it. A far d'un traditor. Was that any better?
It was better, I still hear your tongue.
Okay.
It's a little, it's fine if it takes that position, but not if you make it there,
Yeah.
you know? So how can we unlock that?
I mean, what we were doing yesterday or the day before, maybe both, on like speaking. Yeah, speaking the text and rooting it from there. And I think something you said also that was helpful was like just repeating the vowel over and over again, so I don't like sit on it and lock. So it's coming out.
Yeah. Remember the monkey bar thing. You're doing that. You're not going to sit there and hang.
Right.
You're in motion. You're in motion.
Right.
Okay. Let's say the afadu.
Better? No, still tongue.
Better? I just feel like your tongue is. I'm going to exaggerate.
Okay. So it needs more like almost.
I mean, literally. Okay. Your tongue needs to just be like this in responding to whatever, and I feel you're locking it a little.
Okay. I try.
Just want to try one more time. Yeah, you can try it 10 more times. It's
cool.
That was much better. That was so much better. You know what I heard also was it not you, was in a higher place, and I had it's a more accurate full traditor, that vowel.
Yeah.
Really.
Does it still sound?
You can hear the one finger space, which is actually a significant amount of space.
Yeah.
And so you do that, and you do that, and be attentive of that right here. Like literally, put your hands here, same place.
Okay.
How did that feel?
It felt like really bright, but it felt better. It felt more open. It just sounded like a mosquito in my head. But I know that that's like that's better than me being able to hear it.
It actually sounded richer. It actually had more of that sort of C curve naturally occurring, the backspace, the front pick, all of it. It had, to my ear, that it actually had more of a sound, and not at all brighter.
Whoa. Yeah, I mean, that's just the case, right? It's like you hear this small sound and it's going.
Yeah. Oh, it wasn't. So that's That's something that it can help. It just sends your mechanism a message. Hey, no grabbing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, let's carry on. What? Yeah.
Okay. Aspera vendetta, affardum traditor, affardum traditor, aspera vendetta.
Here we are with our F again. Can you just indulge me and just start at the same place and go like that? One finger space on the F.
From the same place that we just affardum traditor. That one.
No, aspera vendetta. Isn't that where we just started?
Okay.
Yeah.
Aspera vendetta, affardum traditor, affardum traditor, aspera vendetta.
I hope you love that feeling of that, because it's a big difference, and it just has it lines up with the rest of your voice, but it just has the full contingency of the sound of that vowel. I don't even think her tongue's tight. Is that?
Yeah.
It really is free. It's free. Oh.
Yeah, it feels that way. It feels like I have to let it go, which is good.
It's almost always about letting it go, so long as you've got the workers at their stations.
Well, it's forcing me to use them more too, because I'm suddenly like have to let go.
Right. Remember, that's your vehicle. Excuse me. That's your vehicle. These are passengers. No backseat driving.
Yeah. Yeah.
Support is great. This is the aspra vendetta. I feel like it's a bit of a. I know it's a aspra vendetta. Give it aspra vendetta. It's gonna have a. It's sort of like a.
Yeah. Oftentimes it's me trying to be in tempo, and then I'm like, that sounded like a hiccup, and I don't know what happened.
And you absolutely need to be in tempo, particularly with this, with this kind of music. But what you're cutting it shorter than it actually is.
Yeah.
And you want to go. Right? Okay.
Yeah.
Just right. No, I bought that. But the other one was going.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Doesn't it feel freer when you do it that way?
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's like I'm taking up more space without being behind. I think that I associate that with like I'm gonna fall behind if I don't, especially with it.
Right.
But
okay. So you're someone who's just sort of a natural interpreter, I think, stage animal kind of person from what I've experienced about you thus far. So let's go to the B section and prove it to me again. Remember, and then what happens? What happens to this person? What's happening?
Like literally what's happening? Or do you want me to
No,
sing
I
it?
know what's happening.
Oh.
No, I know what's happening, but I want to see what's happening. So, I mean, it is, so many of the stagings I've seen, it's, usually see something that reminds you of your father, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So it's beautiful, and you have meaning on your face, but I'm not sure what the meaning is. No, I need to. Do you see him right there?
I think so.
What I'm seeing for you is resolution. I want to. Let me see you take it in. Don't conclude it for us. Keep it open. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Don't conclude. This is all just coming out of you so spontaneously, right? So don't settle. Don't. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you're seeing a ghost, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So keep it. It's a bit more of a vulnerable feeling interpretively, but I think it's accurate and it's right. What is it? Just leave it open-ended. Leave it open. Nothing is as interesting on stage as seeing process.
Yeah.
Oftentimes more interesting than the resolution. So let us see you process. Let us see him process. Okay, right there. love your face for that. Doesn't that feel kind of fun though, to leave it open?
Yeah, I'm a lot more like laser focused, I think, on
Yeah, it's focus on stage carries in the largest of houses, trust me.
Mhm.
The stillness carries if you have the focus, and you do. A corre a mia difesa e dice, I need to hear a big difference when in your color and the way you say this. When you say Edi, he says, then when you are saying his words.
Yeah.
Right? When you're saying, so I need to have a whole lot more stuff going on in there. Okay? Okay,
Yeah.
so let's take it l'ombra again. Okay, good. I appreciate. Can I throw another option for you? That was beautiful what you were doing. It was beautiful. But when you say edice, I mean, it's like when you're saying, I need to almost like, why don't you try something like a sightless stare? You're hearing his words. I felt like you were involved. I still felt like you were saying it. You're hearing his words, right?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean by sightless stare like that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Why don't you try that again? A searing focus. Let's just take it at edice. I feel like there has to be more tension in what you're saying. More tension. I wouldn't interrupt your focus. A te rigor figlio.
So keep that sightless stare idea.
Figlio. You keep hearing it. You don't see us that you're hearing it. I need you to create what that experience of hearing his voice is.
Yeah.
Create it, it's a lot more booga booga booga.
Yeah.
And less
Right.
less immediate as the svegliatevi nel cuore. Does that make sense?
Completely. Yeah, completely.
Okay. All right. Edice. I think a bolder interpretive stroke there. Edice. What? Let me feel like this. You're unfolding it. Do not let me off the hook.
I see.
As a viewer, as a listener.
Yeah.
Because as soon as you sort of close your eyes, I'm just like, well, are you hearing his voice? Is it yours? What, do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, completely.
Okay. Let's take the same place. Beautiful. I loved the focus, but don't feel trapped that you have to stay there the whole time. You can have, it has to be sort of part of that same language of what you're doing. So after the whole, si aspetta, and then, you can take your focus somewhere else, but still be very clearly, I need to see the bubble of what you're thinking, if that makes sense. Let's just take it right before the l'ombra, that where we just started. So you have that big colon, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think let it. I need to hear more differentiation when you say he said, ah, la, 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 la. You know, he said, a te il rigor, figlio, figlio, sia aspetta. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe not that exact color, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. So are you looking kind of for like almost a stronger color? Like I'm almost imitating, like it's almost coming through me, or is it kind of?
Guess what? This is the fun part.
Okay.
This is the fun part. Yeah, you can do that. It can also be, you can be hearing his voice. I'm not suggesting you imitate his voice. You're hearing his voice, but what I want to do is see that you're hearing someone else's words, your father's words, and its effect on you. And so before, it just all seems still part of the same thing.
Yeah. Okay.
That makes sense. So the same place.
Okay.
So can I just say, Olivia, beautiful. I still want it's Edice a te il rigor. Edice, he says. You are saying this. He says. It seemed part of the same thing. So I mean, take a breath, do a luft. You know.
Oh,
Edice a te il rigor. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just think of when God speaks to Moses on the mountain and that.
Yeah. Okay. I'll channel that.
Something of that ilk, but just differentiate Edice. So you see what I mean? I'm hearing Edice a te il rigor, Edice a te il rigor. You're hearing it, you're experiencing it. How does it make you feel? You blah, 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 blah. Okay, the expectation is mighty on you.
From there.
Yeah, Edice, right there. Hear him. Keep hearing him. You know what I'm saying? Keep hearing him. Keep hearing. I want you to experience, but just figlio. I've got to do this. I'm obligated. I need to. It's my duty. I have to do this. I have to Edice. Figlio. I need to be a little more unraveled.
Got it. Okay. Yeah.
One more time. Edice. Literally, just technically, physically speaking, Edice. Change your focus maybe to help physicalize the difference, you know, something instead of Edice, Edice, or close your eyes, close some different kind of focus. Okay,
sure.
right there.
Keep going.
Just for a minute. Make that transition for me. Great. That's all I wanted. Was that transition? That was so beautiful. That's. I mean, the interpretive choice is up to you. Closing your eyes there. I felt like I could hear the echo in your head with you.
Yeah.
Which was, it's so meaningful. So always, you know, there are many ways to differentiate the way you say the word, the color you use, the physicality, your focus, but and be greedy. Serve them all up. Okay. We unfortunately we have to stop. That this is great. This is just fabulous in your voice. You know what I noticed is while you're doing this, while you're making these investments interpretively, and it's your voice is just naturally your tongue is just naturally just staying out of the way as it should.
Yeah.
So there's a piece of information for you. Dive in head first interpretively. Really great, Olivia. Such a pleasure.
Thank you so much.
Fantastic. All right. Our final young artist is Angel Azzarra, who will introduce herself and her selection.
Some technical difficulties.
Oh, but you're so good at these things usually. How is this possible?
Well, I will warn you, there is a little bit of speaker static on my end from my accompaniment, so I hope it's not too distracting. As Patricia said, my name is Angel Azzarra, and I will be singing Pace, Pace, o mio Dio, Leonora's Act 4 aria from Verdi's La Forza del Destino.
Sconsolata vita, ma che giunge, chi profanare ardisce il sacro loco? Maledizione, 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 maledizione.
Wow. Wow. Man, I wish I were in the same room to hear that, because I remember what it is to be in the same room and hear you. That was fantastic. Angel and I have already had a chance to work on this a little bit in our solo session, and you've just taken all the information and incorporated it. I mean, really just wonderful, wonderful. So this is just like some maybe nitpicky ideas to help articulate it a little more, but just really that would love, I'm sorry, I'm just seeing some of the comments. Wow, I'd love to hear in a real hall. Someone say. So I feel, remember we were talking about at the very beginning, the pace? I mean, that just needs to just be, you know, please, peace, right? Peace. I think you can go further in, I don't want to say surprising us, but surprising us with that expression. You know what I mean? Yeah. I know you want to place it and land it just right vocally, but just like let it ride on your interpretation. Can we go without your
Sure,
all right, so just Beth can give you the So what I feel like you do is it can be, that's like fantastic, it's beautiful, but I want you to blow my hair back. And I'm not saying it's not a volume thing, because I can't even appreciate that much without, you know, through the speakers here, but it's sort of like a, and you know, remember what I said, those ribs just stay out. That's your, it's going to be screaming in there, pace, 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 pace. I need an intensity to it. And then, and that sort of, that has another color. So I think you can yes. Go for it. Okay. Remember we talked about there's a danger in being careful.
Right.
Because sometimes it can be restrictive in the things that'll actually help support you. So go for it, Angel.
Okay.
Beautiful, beautiful. How does that feel? Does it feel scary?
It feels like I'm on a table and somebody's just cracking my ribs open. It feels
but other than that, super
good. It feels good to let go.
Yeah, it needs to, but it also, again, attach it to an interpretive thing of what that moment, what that outburst, I mean, you know, so attach it. There can be an ache in that diminuendo. Attach it to an ache. Pace, pace, mio Dio. It's always nice to
Dio.
Dio, yeah. Pace mio Dio, pace mio Dio. You know, just that kind of thing.
Yes. Okay.
I hope someone's writing all this down. And
it's like I'm eating bread.
Yeah. All right. Let's. You up for it again?
Yes, please.
I mean, just think of this moment. This just, you know, this glorious moment. I don't want to even feel like it's been placed. It just comes out, erupts out of you. And then the sort of achy, moany paces, as I would call them. Yeah?
Yes.
Okay. Great. Let's strict. Beautiful. Great. And I don't know if we talked about this, but I've been talking about this in all the sessions, many of the sessions. There's obviously there's the musical rhythm. There's also the rhythm of the language of the diction. And you're doing it, but I just want you to be aware you're doing it. Pace mio Dio, pace mio Dio, it's a pace mio Dio. It's taught. The legato is taught,
Right.
especially in this style, in my opinion. So cruda. Okay, so I think you can extract more from that. So what I heard was crudas ventura, stringe me. More unrelenting legato. Don't. So it's crudas ven, crudas ven. Keep that sound, those vowels sounding right. Smack dab up against those consonants. No space. Right there.
Crudas
Do it one more time. Sing through your voiced consonants more. It'll help. You know. So like and cruda. I'll hold that ooh 1 millisecond.
Okay, waiting for, I'm assuming that I'm live and that you can hear me. I'm hoping that Patricia Racette comes back soon. So I'm really glad to be singing this piece. I'm gonna vamp now because as we're working on it, it's just totally from her gut. Everything that she's saying, I mean, it's Act 4, Leonore is at the end of her I was vamping.
I know, I saw it brilliantly. All right, let's get. This has happened now a couple times. I'm gonna throw my computer across the room after this. But anyway, so crudas ventura, ma stringe, languir. So just, and I'm doing it like really like this, and I don't want you to do that because you have a really natural, wonderfully supple, relaxed, responsive house here, this upper house, and it's so I don't ever want to do anything to have you clamp down or lock down on something. I'm just wanting you to sort of lean into it a little bit more, and you let the language help you with that. Crudas ventura.
Crudas ventura, ma stringe me languir. Come di primo, da tant'anni dura, profondo il mio soffrir.
Beautiful. Come. Remember the M? It's just a barrel, just a little tiny kiss. Come. No, don't use it as a monkey bar crutch. The M.
Right. I was thinking through the M, but no.
No, not on that one. That one you just barely go. So I'm hearing it a little syllabically. So just give into it. Say those vowels 4 million times within the word, and then you'll be just too busy being legato. So come. Great. You still just kiss the M a little less, but that was beautiful. Does it have a feeling? For you, does it feel any different, or?
I just feel I feel like the less careful I get and the more I get into the text and into the legato, the more it just feels like it's coming straight out of my gut and not, it feels like from the chest up, nothing's ignoring whatever's going on up here.
That's exactly right. That's like where, yes, that is exactly right. You want to feel like a vessel for all of that energy and power that you have. You want to feel like a vessel. You're there, you're aware of it. You can't clamp down on anything, but it's a matter of giving yourself permission and releasing it into that sort of phrasing. That was beautiful. Profondo il mio soffrir, soffrir. Don't you love these words that sound like the meaning?
Yes.
Soffrir, soffrir. Okay. Do you want to just do come il primo again?
I'd love to do that again.
Okay.
Profondo il mio soffrir.
Great. Carry on.
No,
it's great. Doesn't it feel more commanding when you do that?
Yes, because I don't feel like I'm just bopping along on top of them. I mean, even though there's no accompaniment, there's accompaniment happening in my brain, and I think I'm more involved in the texture of it.
Absolutely, absolutely, and involved in the texture of it, and also the textual articulation rides on the legato. Sometimes, if I ask a young singer to be more legato, and I'm just going like that, and there are no real words, and so that's one aspect of it. But the fact is, they all work in concert. Frankly, these long and short vowels, these voiced consonants, these unvoiced consonants, they all work in concert to sewing that legato into place, and it's quite intricate. And it's more of an amusement park ride than one gives it credit for. But that was absolutely beautiful. So let's do our paces.
Mio Dio, pace mio Dio.
Good, beautiful, beautiful. So, I mean, now this is the boring stuff, but la the rhythm. It's la ma di beltai valo valore cotanto e Dio lorno. And I would suggest don't go no che l'amo. There's more ache in there. Okay. Lamai. Great. So you're not really doing the angel the 16ths?
On the
la 8th? The la liever ma di beltai valore cotanto e Dio lorno. Do you know what I mean?
Right. It needs
sort of
more.
You're kind of tripletizing them a little bit. You know what I mean? Cotanto e Dio lorno, cotanto e Dio. So we're not going to belabor that. Just take a look at that and so that. So that is just so yummy. Your limaging, that is so yummy. So you have to sing that again. Cotanto e Dio lorno. Do you take a breath? No, che l'amo. Do you take a breath?
When you suggested that I wait more on the portamento up. You didn't breathe, so I didn't. I have been breathing, but I kind of like it better without.
I do too. The portamento is attached to the che la mon chord. If you do it too soon, it sounds I just stylistically I don't hear that as a better choice. And it's also written a full-on half note for l'orno. Okay? Can we just take it a cotanto e dio l'orno? Okay, one more time, just to indulge me now, and because I know you can do it. Can I have a more generous one of these over it?
Yes.
You know what I mean? There's more undulation in that. Right there. I love it. No, I was just enjoying it. Don't stop.
Sorry.
I told you why I wanted you to sing that line again. I wanted to hear that. So
l'immagine sua saprò.
Can we just look at that? That's just delicious. Great. So fatalita. That was one of the spots I think in we worked last week or whenever it was where you were concerned about being safe. Am I correct? You're which you're going for it, but there's more. So like Margin su saprò. It's instead of I'm gonna sing that G. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? It's just sort of a bigger, and that's when people in the audience, they stop breathing. That's what you want. They're not going to move. I don't know if you've ever experienced it, an audience where there are no gum wrappers, there's no coughing, there's nothing. It's stillness. Everyone's waiting to see. You get those. You can affect a group of people, your audience, by really just digging in with a bold gesture like that. Trust me, darling. Okay.
L'immagine sua saprò. Fatalità. Un delitto disgiunti in acqua giù.
Just so beautiful, so beautiful. It's just the style is coming so naturally to you. So naturally. Tamo, one M, cielo, one L. And
I'm holding on to all these consonants now.
Just a little. I mean, it's trusting your legato. Throw that dart. It's just what is it? No, it isn't. What is it? So, put the ta because there's an accent. Ta. I mean, sometimes I've heard singers before that's Italian. The lips barely even touch. Tamo. su del cielo. It's just like a, just a little drop. Okay, al vario tamo. Okay, one more thing. Really, really beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Oddio, Dio. So you're doing it exactly written, but I think oddio, Dio, oddio, Dio. You know, just a little
Even more, just interrupting myself.
Well, different. It's not oddio, Dio. It's oddio, Dio. So like put that accent on that E vowel.
Yes.
Right there. Okay, right there.
Oddio, Dio, fa che omaia, che la calma pudor di morte sol in van la pace, qui starò, qui sorma, in preda tanto.
Yeah, so in van la pace. So like it's you know agitatissimo, right? And it's got all this stuff. So what's the reason for that diminuendo? It's not you know it's not plaintive. It's not in van la pace. Qui sia vero, qui salvo, in preda tanto, in preda tanto. So you just those little details. It would just be so yummy for you to put that in there.
To make on
Sorry?
On the preda, to have it louder?
Not louder accent. There are accents. In preda tanto.
I think I'm so worried about the fact that I'm not.
Yeah. No, in van la pace. Don't you have diminuendo on the pace?
Yes.
Yeah. So just observe it a little more. It'll just it'll believe it or not, it'll not only will it be accurate, but it'll give you an ownership over it that'll be appropriate. Right there. In van la pace.
In van la pace, qui starò, qui sorma, in preda tanto tuo, in mezzo a tanto
Fantastic, fantastic. But because I know you can do it in preda tanto duo, in preda tanto duo, or really serve it up. It's a visceral activity, a bodily function. Singing is okay. So I'm just because it's stylistically appropriate in this music. Just to do that, and that's what's gonna go. Okay, right there. In preda tanto.
Sorry.
No. Go for it on the B flat.
In preda tanto tuo, in mezzo a tanto duo. In van la pace,
So gorgeous. Remember, we looked at this section. Don't reach for it. And that takes a tremendous amount of trust. And you're not totally reaching. You're slightly reaching for it. You're not. My butt is falling to the floor. It's just going. I mean, Yeah. Yeah. So does that make sense to you?
Yes.
Yeah, just like it's kind of, you have to give into it. You have to trust it. I know we want to go, but no, but look, it's an octave and it's a B flat. I have to tend to it. But I'm going to ask
I'm very gingerly sitting down for it instead of just collapsing.
Yeah, and I need in your support. Okay? In la pace, and again, la pace quest'alma in van la pa in van la pa in van la pa. So just everything just gets released and then it starts to go. Okay, right there. In van la pa.
In van la pa.
Gorgeous, Angel, sorry. Gorgeous. Did that physically make sense to you?
Yes.
Good. So, and just, I know we're going to have to stop here in a second, but in van la, this needs to be free. In van la, in van la pa, no, in van la pa. Do you know what I mean? A little bit of flexibility in it. So it's spontaneous, just right there.
In van la pa.
Beautiful. I think it still can be freer. It's a little more spontaneous. Just give yourself permission. In van la pace, quest'alma in van spero. Sorry, I had to look what the word is. But just play with that. That's absolute. It's so beautiful. And for everyone who's watching, singer or not, Angel is doing the most perfect, just nothing right here, absolutely saying things crisply, but just not over clamping or anything. You're just like your poster child for that there. All right, so in van la pace, just do one more time and just really
In van la pace.
I'm gonna be a pain in your butt. You're going in van. In van la, in van la, in van la, in van la. Okay, go for it.
In van la pace.
You did the longer vowel like I asked Invan, but then it became Invan la, Invan. It's about an undulation. It's about those microscopic messa di voces over these phrases. That's what it is. I'm afraid we're gonna have to stop. Does that break your heart to not finish the whole thing?
A little, but
you know what? No, we have to do maledizione and then we'll stop. So remember what I said about this? Maledizione is such a strong word. Mm-hmm. It's such a strong word. And I know it's fast. So maledizione, 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 maledizione. Tear the wallpaper off.
Okay.
Maledizione, 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 maledizione.
Maledizio, maledizio. If you're really insistent on ae, maledizio, ae, maledizione, maledizione, because it's very maledizione,
maledizione.
Maledizione, 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 maledizione. And let her go there. One more time and then we'll stop. Maledizione. Do you know what? Your face is fantastic because it took this, it went like this and it just took this space and you were like, whoa, what's happening? It was great.
Thank you
Really
so much.
fantastic.
And thank
Angel,
you, Beth,
thank
as well.
you. Yes, thank you, Beth, so very much. And listen, thank you. That was just great, Angel. You're gone now, but I know I see you next week. Anyway, thank you to everyone. I hope you had a fun ride with us. We certainly have. And let's see you on the other side of this crazy time. All best.